Cindy Mancini and Ronald Miller live on the same street, but they're in totally different worlds.
Wouldn't you like to be popular?
Cindy's hot, Ronald's not, but he's got a plan that could change all that.
I want to rent you.
Rent me?
Yeah. You pretend you like me, and we go out for just a few weeks.
Just going out with me is not going to make you popular.
Well, I have $1,000. It says it will.
Now, the biggest social transformation in history
No hand-holding, no kissing, and I get my lunch hour off.
is about to begin.
Okay, Donald, we're ready.
Well, Cindy, one last thing.
Yeah.
My name is Ronald, not Donald.
I think that's Ronald Miller. Didn't you like to mow our lawn?
Ronald's over in No Man's Land, and he's still alive.
He's going from totally geek
Totally chic.
Let's dance!
to totally out of control.
I have moves. All I ever did was think about you.
Say yourself. Don't change to please me.
Me change? Never.
It's the comedy that proves $1,000 can buy popularity, but it can't buy me love.
He's such a heartbreaker.
Welcome to the latest episode of the B Movie Club. I'm your host, Kevin. This will be discussing the 1987 romantic comedy classic, Can't Buy Me Love, starring Patrick Dempsey, Gerardo, Seth Green. It's an all-star cast. For those of you joining us for the first time, each week on the B Movie Club, I discuss certain guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the past. Go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club, and give us the big thumbs up. You can also go to our page on YouTube at KD9575, my initials and my birthday. Hit the subscribe button. It's totally free. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at the B Movie Club. You do that, you get all the latest updates. Anytime I post a new video, anytime I find a link that's kind of B-movie-ish, I just pass it on to you, my loyal followers. All 2 of you. Hey! Don't forget to spread the word. The more, the merrier, okay? Can't Buy Me Love. In this story, Ronald Miller is kind of a nerdy guy. He's a senior at his high school, and he wears a beret and wears glasses. You know, just not very cool. He goes around and mows people's lawns. I mean, they pay him. He doesn't just show up and start mowing people's lawns. He's not a psychopath or anything. But he's not very cool. One of the lawns that he mows belongs to the family of the prettiest cheerleader in school, Cindy Mancini, whose boyfriend has recently gone away to university. And she doesn't even know her poor lawn mowing friend exists. It's very upsetting. One day, Ronald, of course, is fantasizing with his nerdy friends. Oh, wouldn't it be great to be popular one day? And he saved up all this money for mowing lawns. So he's got, $1,000, give or take. He's going to buy a fancy telescope, because I guess that's what nerdy people do. They go buy telescopes. Okay, for $1,000. And we're talking $1987. Holy mackerel. So he's all set to do that. But here's this little thing that's going on. Cindy borrowed her mom's suede outfit to go to a pool party, which just seems like a bad idea anyway. And while she's there, one of their knucklehead buddies from the football team, who drinks Ripple or something, bottle of Thunderbird, accidentally sprays her with his wine, and of course ruins the suede outfit. She attempts to return it, but of course he's not accepting an old crazy like Merlot splattered suede outfit. That's not going to work. But Ronald sees this from across the mall right before, as he's about to buy the telescope, swoops in with his $1,000 and offers to buy her a new suede outfit. However, there's a catch. She has to pretend to be his girlfriend for a month. Just pretend. Okay, it's not prostitution here. She's not an escort or anything like that. Just pretend, but they have to hang out at school. They have to have lunch with each other. All sorts of things. So she's desperate. Her mom's going to kill her. She agrees to do it. So she's got to help Ronald fix his outfit. You know, she puts mousse in his hair. She gets rid of the glasses. She rips the sleeves off his button-up shirt. And he's ready to go. So, of course, because she's the most popular girl in school, at first people are kind of like, what's going on here? Why is she hanging out with that guy? But literally, before the day is over, the first day, now he's cool, just because they're together, okay? So, fast forward, a month passes, they're hanging out all the time, and it's real, though, okay? It's not just, okay, clock in, we're friends, school's out, clock out, you're on your own. Oh no, she goes to parties with him, and he invites her to little haunts, like he likes to go looking at the stars and things like that. She confides in him that she secretly writes poetry, all this stuff. So, of course, over the course of this month, Cindy secretly starts harboring feelings for Ronald. Ronald, for some reason, oblivious to her obvious affections, goes so far as to be like, he used to be in love with her, and now it seems like he's just kind of like, okay, we're kind of friends, I guess. Seems like he's not as interested in her. It's very strange. So, she thinks they're going to have like a romantic moment. Instead, he wants to discuss, oh, our time's almost up. We have to have our passionate breakup so that I can retain the cool. Like, we're breaking up, but it's not you dumping me and I go back to Nerd Town. You know, we're having a blow up and we split up and now I'm still cool and I can date all your hot friends, essentially. And all the football players will still hang out with me. So I don't want to spoil everything. I don't want to give it all away, okay? This is Can't Buy Me Love, okay? This is how we do here. So, Patrick Dempsey, who plays Ronald, was really big for a couple minutes back there in the late 80s. He was in a few other, like, kind of, he's the nerdy guy, that Good Things Happen to. He was in that movie Loverboy. You remember that one where he's the pizza guy who was also like a male escort or something? I don't know. It's all very strange. He, you know, kept working through the 90s, not any big roles, but he was still, you know, he was still paying his rent, okay? And then, of course, a few years ago, he is cast as the love interest in that show, Grey's Anatomy. And now he's like a sex symbol. He goes from being the weird, nerdy guy in the 80s, now he's McDreamy, okay? So that's a serious upgrade, I would say. The girl who plays Cindy Mancini, her name's Amanda Peterson, and she actually stopped acting altogether like 5 years later. When this movie came out, this was like her big break. She had a very small role in like The Explorers with River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke. But this was her first big thing. So she did this, and now she's on the cover of like Bop and Teen Beat and things like that. But by '94, she wasn't acting anymore. For whatever reason, she was either not getting cast or she stopped auditioning. And sadly, this is true, I just discovered this, she actually died at the age of 43 over the summer. There was like an accidental drug overdose. So it's really sad because she had so much promise coming into this movie. Bummer. Okay, let's bring it back to a happy place. She was only 15 when she was in Can't Buy Me Love. She actually played older. She's supposed to be like a senior. She's supposed to play like a 17 or 18-year-old, and she's only 15. Whereas Patrick Dempsey at this time was 20, and a lot of the other cast was like 25. So it was like, she was actually closer in age to Ronald's younger brother, Chucky, played by Seth Green. He was 13 when this came out. It's all very strange. So, a lot of the cast I was looking at, I'm like, there's some people I recognize, because the guy who plays Big John, you've seen him in a few other things. You'd recognize him. He was like in Major League 2. You remember that one? And Ricky, one of the other football players, went on to become a big pop sensation a few years later as Gerardo. If you remember him, he sang Rico Suave. Remember that one? Okay. He was in this movie as well. A lot of the other actors their careers didn't do much. They did a little Cinemax after hours sorts of things, if you look close. There's one guy who I swear is like an evil young Jim Carrey. He plays this guy named Quint, or Quintone. They try to give him like these kind of wacky lines. He was kind of the comic relief, which I don't know why you'd have that in a comedy. They're all the comic relief in a comedy, I imagine. Again, one of the jocks, it's revealed like he was friends with the nerds back in junior high, but, you know, when they went off to play Dungeons & Dragons, I guess, he started playing football, and there you have it. Again, they're the football players, but there's like 3 of them. We don't know what position they play. It's all very complicated. It's hard to know what's going on here. One of Ronald's friends, because over the course of the movie he starts out with his dorky buddies, and then he ditches them to go hang out with the cool kids. His good friend Kenneth was played by an actor named Courtney Gaines, and if you've seen him, he was in a ton of stuff in the 80s. He was in Children of the Corn. He was Malachi in Children of the Corn. He was in a few other things, The Burbs. There you go. He's got the red hair and everything. Good time. So it's an all-star cast, is what I'm trying to say. For some reason, there was actually a strike going on with this movie. Like, a lot of the crew walked off the set, and they decided to make it kind of a non-union thing. But if you're looking close in some of the scenes that cheerleaders are practicing, in the background you'll see people picketing. That's real. That's legit. Okay? Recently, and by recently I mean within the last 15 years, they did a remake of this movie called My Love Don't Cost a Thing. Okay? Which had like Nick Cannon in it. It was, I mean, I was sitting in the theater when this preview walked up. I'm like, okay, that's Can't Buy Me Love. And it's, in many cases, it's a shot-for-shot remake of the original. It's all very complicated. These movies are funny because it's like, it kind of appeals to like all those nerds out there that are like, oh, you know, I do wish I could be popular and date the captain of the cheerleading team. That would be so great. I would love that. And then, you know, by the end of the movie, just like Revenge of the Nerds, there's some moment where somebody gives an eloquent soliloquy where they're saying, like, you know what, I wish the nerds and the jocks could just hold hands and realize that we're all just people and da-da-da-da-da. And, you know what, we all watch these movies, and I appreciate the sentiment, but it's not like everyone goes, you know what, that Patrick Dempsey, he's right. He's right, Patrick. So, it's sad. I appreciate what you're trying to do, Patrick Dempsey, and others, okay? But it's a sad world we live in, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This movie didn't do that well at the theaters. It did reasonably well, but it wasn't a huge hit. It became like a kind of a cult thing later. Critics blasted it. They thought it was kind of uneven and kind of ridiculous and all these things. It's like, it's fun. Come on. It is a fun movie to go back and watch. Granted, it has kind of a romantic aspect, which some people would find off-putting. I mean, but I think the comedy is hilarious. There's a lot of good things in this. The African Anteater Ritual, if you haven't seen it, it's brilliant. It is brilliant. Anyway, so check it out. It currently has a 48% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. That is ridiculous. This is a cult classic. Okay, if you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. It's good, clean fun. Okay? Well, maybe not. There's some scenes where Ron is hooking up with the ladies, but there's really no nudity. It's a lot of implied action. So if you want to, you know, sit down at the dinner table with the fam and watch Can't Buy Me Love, probably not the best idea you've ever had, but you can do a lot worse, I would say. I recommend it. It is still streaming instantly on Netflix, so rush out and see it. Go ahead and send in any favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and I may talk about it on the show. Don't forget movie suggestions. That would be lovely as well. Next week, moving away from kind of the light comedy, romance deal over here to the gripping action, social message of First Blood, starring Sylvester Stallone. He's a forgotten Vietnam vet who's a drifter, and a small-town sheriff messes with him, and what is he supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? So check out First Blood if you haven't seen it. It's the one that started it all, for goodness sake. Okay, for crying out loud. So check that out. That's also streaming instantly on Netflix. Don't forget to go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club. Give us the thumbs up. Go to our page on YouTube and subscribe. It's totally free. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The B Movie Club. Okay? As you know, I end every episode with a totally out of context quote, and here it is. Guys, look at my forehead. Do you see a sign that says information? Oh yeah. So there are so many quotable lines. Quitone is in, let the fun begin. That was a good one too. Class, Yeah, that's my new thing. So there you go. Good times. I gave you 3 for the price of 1. So there you have it. Next week, First Blood. Thank you for joining us. Be well.